Post-Nexus 4, LG has cemented a footing in the smartphone game, being spearheaded by the Optimus G, a fantastic top-tier effort. This has been followed up with the Optimus G Pro, a phablet-sized device with an impressive spec sheet aimed to appeal to those looking to maximise screen size real estate in a device. But whilst in name it's a continuation, in build it's not, and it is trading ground that has been sparsely accomplished by other manufacturers. So how does this device stand in the current market? Let's find out. It is well known that LG tends to follow Samsung's lead in design fairly closely at times, and the G Pro does just that with marked similarities to the Note 2, its direct competitor. This is surprising as the Optimus G was a very original and striking build by LG, and the remnants of that device are nowhere to be seen here, besides the cutesy sparkly texture in the back panel. At first I was devastated by that. The G had fantastic elements to its design. But the G Pro is still very thoughtfully put together, and all the elements are sturdy and well attained. The front panel holds the speaker centrally at the top edge with the ambient light and proximity sensors to the right, and 2.1 megapixel front facing camera right again. A neat notification light is embedded around the physical home button at the base of the device, but this button is rather thin and difficult to use at times, with a capacitive back button to the left and menu button to the right. In single-handed use, a better fit would have been to have had on-screen buttons, and the back button when in my right hand was a far stretch. But this was significantly better than the Note 2, as the G Pro is far thinner with a very thin side bezel and gives the device better ergonomics. The glass edge tapers to the plastic sides, which are a two-tone of base colour and faux metallic band. As a solid band around the entire device, this brushed aluminium look would have been more appealing than the thinning design. The base edge of the G Pro has the micro USB port next to the microphone, and the top edge the headphone jack neighbouring the IR blaster, another microphone sitting near a removable antenna for use in Korea with dedicated TV applications. The American model removes this but retains most of the other elements and specifications. The right hand side has only the unlock button towards the top, and the left hand side has the Q button high up the top and the volume rocker from the upper middle. The rear face has the 13 megapixel camera encased in a silver band, likening that seen in the HTC One X, which ties in with the sides, I guess. To the right is the LED flash, and to the left the loudspeaker. The panel is removable, exposing the exchangeable battery, micro SD card slot and micro SIM card tray. The plastics used in the rear panel are less flimsy than that found in the Note 2, and they click back really securely into the main chassis. I know, this device is meant to be known. It isn't intended to be small and hidden, but a thinner frame would have made it stand well apart from the Note 2. But honestly, I do give the upper hand to the G Pro, especially coming in 11 grams lighter with an eye-catching build. The G Pro also manages to punch out an even more spectacular spec sheet than that seen with the Note 2. The Qualcomm 1.7 GHz quad-core CPU did plenty to impress with a snappy and staggerless performance. Everything was blazingly fast, and this is coached along with 2 gigs of RAM. The Adreno 320 GPU managed to run games phenomenally across all those extra pixels, and 32 gigs of onboard storage and expandable memory via micro SD card up to 64 gig meant that media could be your best friend with the G Pro. USB hosting is achievable with the micro USB version 2.0 and Bluetooth 4.0, dual band Wi-Fi, NFC Miracast and the infrared port make this a formidable competitor. I found reception to be superior in this device with constantly more bars in both LTE and 3G compared to the iPhone 5. Quality of course was helped along a lot by HD voice and excellent noise suppression of background sound. The GPS was very fast and accurate, and the 3140 mAh battery did well to make it through a day, with a small amount of life left at the end. The sheer resolution of the display definitely wiped it faster than I'd hoped after having the Note 2, but continuous HD video playback still managed a little over 5 hours. Of course, in the box came a backup battery and charging dock, thanks to mobicity.com, so check it out in the description below. Impressively, the G Pro hosts a 5.5-inch true Full HD IPS Plus panel with 401 ppi pixel density, completely trouncing the stretched out and measly 267 ppi pixel density in the Note 2's AMOLED display. The only thing the Note 2 has on the G Pro here is viewing angles, as I will say, off-axis viewing deteriorates contrast worse on the G Pro. Otherwise, this panel executes whites perfectly and with far brighter and more natural looking colours. It's the selling point for me. I really noticed the lacking panel in the Note 2 and am blown away at times by the clarity and ease with such a big clear panel in the G Pro. Particularly when outdoors. However, when the device heats up, screen brightness is limited to prevent damage, and this is a nuisance. Like the G, the Pro brings Android Jelly Bean 4.1.2 with a heavy LG licking of its Optimus UI. Much like Samsung's TouchWiz interface, it's a marked deviation and allows heavy customization and personalization of the user experience. Some can argue this is a bad thing with the added strain on the performance and annoyance to occupying memory space with in-house applications. The memory space with the International Pro variant is the issue, as there is a disgusting amount of carrier bloatware and included applications. So much so I was forced to hide most of them as I was unable to remove them. Otherwise, the detailed customization is welcome but mirrors a lot of what Samsung has tried before and expands on it just enough to make it seem original. The lock screen can have many different faces, with choices for having shortcuts to favourite applications, clock displays, backgrounds, and unlocking and swiping effects. While I hate the little circular embedded thing they've got going on with the shortcut icons, the swiping effects are pretty unique and cool. The home screens can feature up to 7 pages and as few as 1. Editing the pages is really simple, with everything you need literally a finger press away. I really enjoy manufacturers that include a similar editing ability, as it means less jumping in and out of the app drawer. The animations and transitions can also be adjusted to taste, and the ability to have circular scrolling home pages is thankfully available. The app drawer is fairly stock standard, with widgets accessible here as well. The notification tab has some of the greatest change. It's a bamboozling array of settings and shortcuts, so much so at times notifications take the back seat. The top row is a scrollable row of quick settings, and the settings displayed are customizable as you might expect. Beneath is Q-Slide apps. These are shortcuts to applications that can run atop of other running applications to allow a more fluid multitasking experience. The concept's great. Rather than simple dual screen application use like Samsung offers, you have scalable and movable windows that you can also adjust the opacity to view all the open panels together. It's plugged to sell the idea of watching movies when an incoming email comes in and then being able to continue watching the movie and type in the email. This I did not like. It is really hard to see the video and maintain any amount of focus. What works is having the calendar or calculator app open constantly in a semi-translucent state while working in other applications. The only nuisance is that anything less than an opaque Q-Slide application means you are no longer active in it. So if jumping from one application to the next, you will need to keep changing the level of translucency in order for them to be active. A great new feature to the Pro is the Q button. Effectively, it's a shortcut to any application you choose to set. I found it really handy with quick launching the camera app. The settings has been likened to that seen with the Galaxy S4, broken up into smaller segments. I do find it a nice way to navigate. However, in true LG style, you can easily slip back to something a little bit more familiar. The included apps are aplenty and everything has its own small adaptation to make it a little less stock. Notebook is very much S-Note, but the lack of a stylus makes it far less usable for me. I did use it well with typing and placing images, but ultimately this is a big phone for those looking for a large display and really attacks a different market to the Note 2 in that regard. And that for me loses a lot of the Pro's luster. I loved the Note 2 and its size, as it was complemented so well by the included software and the S Pen use. One thing the Note 2 lacked was the use of the OS in landscape, and that's where the G Pro delivers, and a phone that large is complemented excellently by using it in landscape. While the 1080p resolution and true color reproduction makes videos a dream, and frankly I adore the clarity and ease of use with any application, the audio quality leaves a lot to be desired. The loudness was generally lacking by comparison to other top tier devices, and quality was average at times. However, the cameras included were superb. The rear-facing 13 megapixel camera took fantastic shots, very fast shutter and excellent sharpness and clarity. The front-facing camera was generous at 2.1 megapixels and capable of 1080p video at 30 frames per second. In a lot of ways, I feel sorry for the G Pro that it hasn't seen the respect it deserves with the camera overlay it offers, because so many features of the beautifully refined and easily navigated OS have been mimicked by other manufacturers for their 2013 lineups. Intelligent Auto is featured here, where it will identify and interpret the scene's characteristics to adjust aperture, shutter speed and options to take the perfect shot. And this is what Sony had been promoting with their new Xperia overlay. And here is what LG calls wide dynamic range video, and it's effectively identical to Sony and HTC's HDR video ability that they use to boast the Zs and 1s launchers. And who can't forget dual video, a majorly gimmicky but crowning achievement, so Samsung thought, with the S4. And here it is in a device launching well before it. The G Pro certainly isn't a perfect solution, but it's pretty close. The size of it is very overbearing, even with coming in with that thinner width than the Note 2. The plastic elements are sturdy and look attractive enough, and the impressive spec sheet and dazzling display make me almost want a device of this size. But I'm not after a phone this large yet. But I would have been happier with the Note 2. This is because the S Pen sold an experience that the G Pro can't. The Note 2 was a different lifestyle and one intended with a large form factor that you compromise for. The G Pro is the perfect upgrade to the Note 2 minus the stylus, and that doesn't cut it for me. But it might for you. If you are looking for a large display size, then the G Pro offers it up with intense style, top-notch performance, and inclusions to boot. Grab one from mobiCity.com using the link in the description below. I'm Kurt, and this is KABOOtech. Thanks for watching.